Hello, I'm Christina with The Turned Leg. I love to salvage, repurpose, and create and help others to do the same. I also have a booth at an antique mall and I'm on the hunt for items to bring back to resell in my booth. And one of the items I'm looking for are the elusive vintage Christmas items that are getting harder and harder to find. Let's go see what we can find. I usually skip the clothes entirely and head right to home goods or furniture. First thing I came across was the picture aisle, and I did take home that red mill hand-painted picture. If you want to see all of the items that I took home and what I paid, stay tuned to the end of the video. Picture prices were all over the place. This one, although the frame was beautiful, was just under $19, so I decided to pass on it, and I headed off to furniture. Not too many new items in furniture. There were beautiful pieces here. Many of them were over $100. The last time I was here, I did get a set of chairs, and I'm so sorry I forgot to show you. I refinished them and put them in my dining room. They did have more good chairs. I like these kitchen chairs. They said there were 4 of them. I could not find the 4th one. They would have needed a little bit more work, but they would have been a good investment. Chairs that are sturdy are hard to find. Heading off to Home Goods, I always love to look here. You never know what you're going to find. I spotted the canner that my great-grandmother had. I'm currently missing the lid. I may come back for that one. I also spotted these. I probably should have gotten them for some sort of a craft because they were a really good price, but I wasn't sure what I should have used them for. Let me know, would you have bought them and what would you have used them for? And who doesn't love a good bean jar in fall? Except this one had a good price, but it had an issue. The lid, I don't think fits. It just was not big enough in my opinion. I then headed over to Glassware. I'm always looking for cool vintage glasses, just the clear kind. They're getting harder and harder to find. I did find a few strays. I did spot some beautiful Noritake dishes. I am just not a fan when they are selling these dishes individually. I have a thing about breaking up sets. There were larger pieces at good prices. I also spotted some restaurant ware I have never seen before. If you follow this channel long enough, you know I'm kind of obsessed. This was buffalo china. There are just so many pretty patterns, and this stuff is crazy durable. I use it in my own home. I also spotted this, and every time I find it, it makes me sad. This was a piece that had a booth owner's tag still on it. So either the booth owner got sick of it, or maybe they went out of business. And this store has bins, but not like permanent. These are the items they're going to put out that day. Because I come early, they're normally not out yet. Didn't find anything in the bins, but I did find this sweet vanity stool for only $4.99. One of the things I have learned from doing these videos is that if I think something is cool, even though I don't know what it is, I probably should bring it home with me. And normally, that's a good idea. But in this case, this item probably should have been left at the thrift store. Stay tuned to the end of the video to find out what it was. And thanks to all of you that helped me figure it out on Facebook. Sometimes I think the world sends you subtle hints. I think this was my subtle hint that I need to get back to Ohio to go thrifting. In the seasonal section, it was mostly fall. There were a few rogue Christmas items, but not enough yet. There were tons of costumes and masks for children, though, which I always love seeing. It's great for parents to save a little money. My last stop in this store was the book section. They have had a lot of the really old Reader's Digest with the gold edges and artistic covers, so I had to check them out. The next thrift store I visited was a Value World thrift store. By the way, I will put all of the thrift stores that I visited in the description box below. Usually the prices at this store have been quite high, but when I walked in the door, I found these amazing candlesticks for a great price. Stay tuned to the end. I will fill you in on what I paid. And I did see some Christmas items. And I was off to Home Goods, where I had to rescue a sweet little Lennox plate from falling off the edge. My goodness, they had a lot of items there, and I was so happy to see it. These glasses were really cool at 80 cents each. They were quite tiny, though, in your hand. I also spotted the top of candlesticks. I am always amazed by what you can find. These were crazy expensive, too. All there were the tops. And remember how I mentioned the prices? Here are just a few examples of how high the prices are by me near Metro Detroit. I got really excited by this piece until I noticed it had to be plugged in. And no cord, plus I wasn't interested at all. It was not what I expected. Do you see what I see hiding? The next step was off to linens, and I am always on the hunt for the elusive wool throws. And this time, I got lucky. On my way out, I spotted a whole bunch of plastic risers, which would be great in a booth display if you had shelves to raise items up in the back. I didn't need them, but if you are a booth owner, always check thrift stores for some good display options. The next store I visited later in the week is not one of my normal stores. It is like a boutique Salvation Army located in Trenton, Michigan. Do you have these near you? Most of the items here are like consignment. They're usually higher end things for higher prices. Obviously, if you're looking for stuff for your home or yourself, you can get good deals, but it's not always the best place for me for my resale. Let's take a look at some of the furniture items I found. A whole bunch of tables, beautiful legs, $75 each. This desk was $80. Inside, very beautiful display. But once again, let's talk about the prices at this place. Milk glass, $12. Prices were comparable to what I would resell things for. Loved this print, but it was $45. I also spotted a beautiful casserole dish. It was $20. At the previous thrift store, the price of a very similar piece was $5.99. It really does pay to shop around. Here are just a few more of some of the higher prices. I still think, though, these are excellent if you're looking to buy these items for your home. They did have Christmas items. This was a fairly reasonable display, $5. Didn't think that was too bad. But I really was not seeing anything. I thought, well, maybe in the household appliances I would find a deal. This crock pot with the setting scratched on was $20. I think that was a little high. I did come home from the store with a pair of shoes for myself, but other than that, I didn't find anything. I'm really making a habit that anytime I'm out and about and I have a little extra time that I'm visiting thrift stores in that area. So happy with what I found. Let's take a look at the items I brought home. I really had some good luck with like old time prices. These two candlesticks are huge. $2.92 each is amazing. Everything big and kind of newish has been crazy expensive lately. So excited too because I actually found vintage Christmas items. And once again, I think perhaps these Christmas items might have been from last year or the year before prices, because that's what they reminded me of. You couldn't find vintage ornaments for an entire box under $2 usually. And that's what I got. So of course I grabbed these up and even went back the next day to see if I could find more. I didn't, but that's how good the deal was. I also had to pick up this candle holder. It was really beautiful. And the Lennox dish. Lennox always sells well for the holidays for me. People know the name and like to even give it as gifts. Also found this cute little boot planter. Couldn't pass it up. Super sweet. And I found a vintage wool throw. This is almost big enough for a twin size bed. Little pricey for what I pay, but these will sell. I also found this sweet little chair, another great deal. And sometimes you find things that just go together. There was a lot of pink that I discovered, including this teapot. And I also could not pass up the shell tree. You guys know, if you watch me often, I love this kind of stuff. The last time I was at the thrift store, my daughter told me to pick up this Reader's Digest, and I passed, and I kept thinking about it, so I had to go back and get it. It was one of the older ones with the artistic covers, and it was just a pretty piece I didn't want to leave there. Also picked up the glass dish. And how cute are all of the pink items? The creamer and sugar don't really go with the tray, but I think they'll be great all staged together. Here is the last display, and the hand-painted sign I could not pass up. I love to pick up hand-painted items. Even George liked this one. I think it may be on Barnwood too, extra bonus. Utensil holder, the grater, good deal. And then this was the item that you guys helped me figure out. I believe it is for a hookah pipe, so probably should have left this one at the thrift store. I thought it was cool. Oh well, live and learn. I never pass up Tupperware at a good price, and I'm in the mood for fall, so a Woolrich poncho jacket I thought would be a great idea too. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you. And if you are a thrifter like me, I love to hear your amazing finds. So make sure to drop them in the comments below. Also, let me know what you liked from my haul. Now get out there to salvage, repurpose, and create. It is time to go thrifting to see what items I can find at good deals to bring back to my booth. That's George. Let's go.